What up, YouTube? JB Rhodes here. This is a past due video. Kind of wanted to make this video a little bit because my first video got a lot of views talking about my first year with my authority and some of the problems I had and things like that. So that video was just the problems that I faced my first year. You know, some people's problems were much greater than mine. Some people's not so much. Some people probably manage their money better than I did. Some people may not, but it's just one of those videos that I wanted to make. Everyone always keeps talking about, you know, authority drivers and all the good shit that comes with it, like, you know, better money, you know, your freedom to choose where you want to go, you know, and it's just the pride of having your own company, your own trucks, possibly employees, things like that. And you know, no one ever really talks about the negative side of things, and sometimes you get to that dark place in your mind or just in general in life, and it's just how, you know, I wanted to express myself and kind of all the ups and downs and the struggles that I went through. So there's not a one size fits all to this. You know, the way I did things is probably not the best way to do them, you know, but it also helped me grow, learn. You know, going through that struggle made me stronger, things of that nature. So anywho, I just wanted to shed some light on what's been going on. I know recently that I was making YTD head-to-head videos with Kevin over out of the RTI channel, so I just want to touch base on a few things and kind of what's been going on in my life and what's been going on with JB Rhodes Transportation Services. So I got a little list of whatnot, and I'll just kind of go through things. As far as the YTD challenge with Kevin, I won that challenge by a lot. My end of the year YTD number was $263,787.20 for 2019. Now that's just what I did in this truck. That's not counting the company as a whole, and I'll get into that here in just a second as to why. This year I also started running teams. I hired a driver, and he's been running teams with me, so that really boosted revenue. Up until the point of running teams, I was averaging 20 grand a month on average. Now that's not counting fuel coming out of that, truck payments, expenses basically. So I was averaging 20 grand a month, and I was maintaining that during the downtime of the market. You know, freight rates have, you know, haven't been that fair or that good in the 2019 year, but I was able to find a niche which kept my, you know, kept the money coming in. I did better than the average rate out there on the spot market, and I was able to make it work. So, and it's just, you know, I got a little luck on my side when it came to it. I was taking a good paying load that was already paying over $2 a mile, and I was able to squeeze stuff with that product and able to do like multi drops and LTL and partial stuff. So I was able to, like, when rates going to the West Coast were barely paying, you know, $2,700 to maybe $3,500 to go out there, I was able to boost my trailer and make it 10 grand going out there one week, make it 9 grand, make it 8 grand. And I was doing, you know, good going out that way and average coming back. And I was able to make it work for a long period of time. So I'm running teams now. That's the interesting thing. I hired a driver that I knew for a little bit. And I tried to get him on a long time ago, but he didn't have enough driving history. Or he had driving history, but it wasn't consecutive in a row. So my insurance company requires me, when I hire somebody, they got to have 3 consecutive years in a row of driving history with no gaps. So I was able to finally bring him on board and running teams. So right now, on average, probably we're doing about 10 grand a week. Anywhere from on the low side, maybe 8 to 13 grand, and anywhere in that vicinity. What I want to do is average 10 grand a week or more, and that'll be a good year for this year. So we started that. When we start that? August, when you came on board? October. My shit's off. What's your something? Oh. One of my drivers is texting me. So talk a little bit about how I'm paying him on this structure. So I hired him on, and when he's with me in the truck and we're running teams, I'm paying him 20% of what the truck grosses. When he's soloing by himself, I cut him 30%. So, and it kind of balances itself out a little bit. So, on average, what do you say your checks are pretty much?
Anywhere between 15 to 19.
So anywhere between 1,500 to 1,900 a week is pretty much what he's making. What was your best week? Was it the 19?
1945.
1945 was his best week. I think we grossed over.
That's net.
That was net, yeah. What was the gross number? You remember?
This was like 2650.
Yeah, 2650 was the gross, and then he netted about 19 and some change. So, and that was like our best weeks. Was like, I think we had a 13.3 and
13,000 even.
13 even, and then 13.3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a $13,000 week and a 13.3, which was pretty damn good. So, on to the next thing. I now also have a leash driver. So I have 2 guys that are leased up under my authority, and pretty much they get to run around and do whatever they want to do. They both got paid off trucks. They both got paid off trailers, and they're kind of my guinea pigs as far as, because I've always had like this weird thing in the back of my head about letting other owner operators lease under my authority. And honestly, right now, I've had second thoughts about it, but I decided to go ahead and do it just to learn what the process is and what I needed to do to get them on board. So they pay for their own plates, they have their own trucks, they have their own trailers, and I charge back the insurance, whatever the increase is, and charge back the load boards, which they can get on their own if they want it. They just choose to get it through me. And then they pay for their own fuel. They pay for IFTA, but I do their IFTA taxes for them. And they pretty much get to do whatever they want. And honestly, it's been a stress-free process. Well, the first part wasn't stress-free, and I'm flinging my headphones around. But the first part, getting it set up, was not stress-free. But since they've been on board, I really don't have to worry about them. They're excellent drivers. They don't get in any trouble. One of the drivers got 3 inspections in like 3 weeks and passed every single one of them. Kicked them some extra money for that, just for being outstanding a driver under the authority. And you know, I don't worry about them. They get to pick their freight, go where they want to go, and I charge them basically 10% after factoring. That's part of the agreement, and that's all my cut. And then they're under a special lease. They're under a special lease contract up under me, where, you know, there's some other stipulations in there, but that's their business, and I'm not going to put it out there. Will I bring on other owner operators in the future? I don't know yet. I'm still, you know, I want to see how this goes for maybe a year. Unless I know somebody, that I may bring them on board. But I don't know if I'm just going to open the floodgates and let anybody come on board. I don't really have anything to offer. I don't have contract freight or anything like that. I don't have any special discounts really or anything like that. So I charge 10%. I think that's fair out here, and then, you know, they can just get out there and make their money. Yeah. I'm definitely not getting rich off these guys. They 10%. You know, for every $1,000 they make, I get about 100, give or take. So, you know, it's something, but I'm not getting rich off these guys, and I don't really plan to get rich off of them. I've given them a home. I've given them, you know, what they want and what they expect out here, which they want to be basically left the hell alone and left to their own devices, and they want to go wherever they want to go. So I find drivers, you know, it's really the main thing that certain owner-operators want, is they want the freedom and the ability to go home when they want to, not to be nagged and bothered and micromanaged, get to pick their own freight and be basically responsible for themselves. And both drivers get that opportunity, at least on with me. I don't call them, I don't harass them. Hell, they bug me more than I bug them. You know, they got a problem, they call me, they need a carrier packet filled out, they call me, they turn in their paperwork, got a question with payroll, whatever it is, they call me, and I take care of it best I can. So, but it's been a stress-free experience. I don't worry about them wrecking. I don't worry about them turning the truck over. Is it there in the back of your mind? Absolutely. But when I look back at each day, it's just, they're not even a thought in my mind, really. You know, I don't worry about them. So I got 2 good guys working, and then the guy I hired running teams, he's good too. You know, I don't worry about him. I don't worry about him wrecking. I kind of knew these guys' driving history before I brought them on board, so I feel like I have peace of mind when it comes to that aspect. So yeah, that's what's going on. It's not, I wouldn't say that I'm obviously making it. I'm not rich by no means. I'm out here just getting it done the best I can, best way I know how. Freights are down. I decided to run teams to boost revenue during the market being down. What I was doing before was about $5,000 a week gross. Now I'm netting what I gross each week. So I'm netting $5,000 a week versus just grossing and then expenses coming out of that, fuel, maintenance, shit like that. So now that, you know, I've got more money coming in and putting in my pocket, you know, things are looking up. We've got through the holiday season. Thanksgiving took time off a week. Christmas took a week, you know, and my company driver had to do that as well. And, you know, the other lease guys taking time off, be home with family. And now it's just back to the grind. So I guess one of the goals for this year is just to try and average $10,000 a week, which is about 40 a month, which, you know, for the entire year would be about 480,000. So I want to try to possibly reach that goal. So, and then what's the math on that for you?
What's that?
480,000 at 20%.
96.
Yeah. So Chuck over here has the opportunity to make about 96,000, roughly. So, if, you know, granted we're gonna have time off, little things here and there. I may need to go home for a weekend or something. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. Other than that, I'm going to do a recap video on YTD, and I'll show my gross number versus Kevin's. The bet with Kevin was if he lost, he would either have to choose to make my YTD his truck number. So every time he goes in somewhere, he goes, "What's your truck number?" You know, it's $263,787.20, kind of like as a running joke, and then or lease on to my company for a year, and then if I were to lose, which obviously I didn't, I was going to have to run flatbed for a year, or make his YTD my truck number. So obviously I won, so I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun being in competition. It was pretty neck and neck for a good while. Started running teams. That was calculated in. We had an agreement that really didn't matter. It's what I was doing in the truck. So rather, if he went he was doing flatbed, so if he went flatbed RGN and boosted his revenue or did something else, like he could have did the same thing. So we were kind of okay with those terms, like if I started running teams. So, but I think regardless, I could have beat him by my own. I would have just kept doing what I was doing and trying to meet that 20 grand a month average. So, but you know, you got to grow and learn, and if the market's down, you got to figure out a way to make money, and that's what I'm doing right now. So I'll try to make more videos. I'm not really keen on making them. I'm usually too busy, or I don't want to edit. I'm lazy. Got enough stuff to do out here, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm out. If you got any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Questions, anything like that, and I'll try to get around to answering them. I know people leave comments and stuff, Sometimes I answer them, like them. Sometimes I respond. The super negative stuff that's like really unnecessary, I just don't even bother. I'll probably delete your comment. It's just, there's one thing to have constructive criticism, but when you're just being downright, I don't know, just an asshole, I ain't got time to mess with you. So, but yeah, like, comment, subscribe, I guess. I don't know. It's been a while since I did this, but peace out.